not a YouTuber, just like making videos. And here I want to clarify some things that I said in my last video, the Haitian situation. In no way was I condoning Border Patrol agents on horsebacks wrestling or whipping Haitian migrants. I understand that them images are very disturbing. And I can understand why people draw comparisons, but the motive is different. It's like black people at the back of the bus because of Jim Crow laws, as opposed to black people who decided voluntarily to want to chill at the back of the bus. Okay, I know that may be a silly analogy and so forth, but I understand the image looks similar, but the motives are completely different. And so forth. But let's get into it. I'm going to say some things that I didn't say in my past video because it would have ran way too long. The video was already 15 minutes. And we have to get into how did the Haitians get to South America in the first place? That kind of stumped me, so I had to do my research on that. But supposedly, these Haitians were coming in. There was a big influx of them coming in 2010 from the first earthquake. And they were like, for lack of a better term, like disposable labor there. They were poor. They was at the bottom working them triple D jobs, dirty, deplorable, demeaning. And supposedly during the Olympics down there in Brazil, they needed a steady workforce. So a lot of Haitians are in Brazil, they're in Chile, all throughout South America. And I guess they did not build a strong economic base for themselves, to sustain themselves when the economy slowed down through coronavirus. The people at the bottom, the foreigners, the immigrants and so forth, usually get the shaft. This reminds me when I used to live in Germany. We had a large Turkish population. And a lot of these Turkish were living in the ghetto. There was ghettos in Germany, but it ain't like it's not like the south side of Chicago. When the wall came down, the Berlin Wall came down, the Eastern Germans started flooding in. So therefore, the Eastern Germans, which a lot of them never even saw a color TV, were getting the jobs that was once occupied by the Turkish people. Because countrymen are going to look after other countrymen. And supposedly, if you remember that video, that somewhat viral video, some South American guys killing a black guy. We thought that the black guy was just a black Spanish person. Supposedly, he was a Haitian. He was a Haitian immigrant. And I think Tommy Sotomayor put the link to that video on his channel. Supposedly, the guy was Haitian, and these South American guys, the Indian-looking guys, blew their head off with a shotgun. It was a very disturbing video. I wish I can unsee it. But yeah, so there's been a population down there for a while. And they were coming through America through I would say an unbeaten path. Supposedly through the internet, through some apps, and through their own family members, Haitian family members that was already living here, would tell them to go a certain way that the other, a lot of South Americans didn't go. So a lot of these Haitians going this path or whatever didn't know that it was going to be congested, that so many other Haitians have heard about it and so forth. It's like when you're on the freeway and you hear on the radio or whatever, hey, take exit 23 and go around this way. You'll get there faster. But then when you take that route, you see that it's congested too. That the word have gotten around. So that's what. So a lot of Haitians didn't know that, hey, there was going to be so many other Haitians here, and so therefore, now if it was just a small number of Haitians coming through, I don't think Border Patrol would have acted the way that they did. But, and I'm not saying that these Border Patrol agents don't have any sort of racist intent or they racist, but ultimately they're kind of doing their job. So, I'm like, what do you want? You want them to shoot them? So now Border Patrol has to go and deal with this situation here, and it's like just a big clusterfuck. So they got to make do with what resources they had. Supposedly the Biden administration didn't like it, and the Biden administration has suspended horse patrol for now. So of course, but this is all for political reasons. When Donald Trump runs for president, he's going to use this as cannon fodder. People are going to say, "Oh, you guys were crying about Donald Trump's wall, but Joe Biden had a slave patrol whipping Haitians with whips, putting lashes on their back. I can see it right now. And you guys were crying about Donald Trump's wall." And that the Democrats also have strong policies on immigrations, which they always have. Barack Obama did it. Now immigration is, I don't know a whole. I'm not claiming to be an expert on this subject, and I can't, and I feel either one way or another about that. But Haiti is a hellhole, so I don't blame anybody from wanting to get out of Haiti and so forth. But the thing is, here in America, the reason why the Mexicans, South Americans, have built such a strong economic base here. That's why it's immigration is very complicated, and it's a very they got, the task force, they got their work cut out for them, because with such a strong economic base here, they can filter in their cousins, their family up from Mexico and South America and so forth. And that's why you see so many of these Spanish businesses prop up. You got whole entire plaza of Spanish businesses where everything is in Spanish. This is why they have such a strong dollar here in America, because a lot of these illegal immigrants are going to spend their money most likely on Spanish businesses because they may feel alienated from the American maelstrom. See, black people, we don't spend a lot on black businesses because, we're more integrated than we thought. So, we take our dollars anywhere, So, and that's the thing. So the Haitians, I guess, in South America and build strong economic base to sustain themselves, and they don't have to constantly run to the South Americans or whatever country for work. Now if Black Americans and Caribbean Americans, if we had a real strong relationship, with Haiti, a lot of us will help get them over here. Especially if Black American men were tapping Haitian trim. And if these Haitian women was like, hey, we can do for you what this African American women can't do for you. We cook and clean. We just want, we set up something like that. Black American men will help build the pipeline to get them over into this country. So, hey, but nobody want to share their women with us. They'll share it with the white man. But also, on another note, seeing how the country of Haiti is in dire straits, and it don't seem like it's going to be fixed in any foreseeable future or foreseeable reality. I think about Black America and our morals, and our value system, how we're fascinated with these thoughts, these rappers that just spew some of the most despicable and vile things out their mouth. How you use the term ghetto fabulous, and some way we're fixated with this backwards mentality, even in our music, our culture. Women having kids with multiple men, men having children with multiple women. This is not good. I'm like, the Black America is gonna turn into a little Haiti if it hasn't already. You know what I'm saying? And we're opening the door for this sort of behavior. We should praise positivity and praise productivity and being civil. Because, I remember I went into the projects, our government funded housing and so forth. And recently here in my city, and I was looking at all of this trash that was piled up on the fence, and just everywhere. The mattresses just thrown there, and I'm like, I can understand that the big bad white man. Years of racial discrimination and being ostracized and galvanized, but can some people, I know there's white people living in the projects too. I know that. Matter of fact, that's another video I got coming called "Is There a Such Thing as the Black Community?" Because I'm seeing more and more white people, but in generally somewhat poor, economically pride people. Can they just pick up the trash? But that's all I want to say. Thanks for watching, and never stop learning.